You guys know where you're going, right? Right to the Golden Tankard.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys have had probably a couple of weeks since the last time you guys went out adventuring. And the one thing that you noticed in Parnast, there's a lot more farmers that are starting to live at the stable, seeing that Sarpy killed their last freaking cow probably about a month and a half back. So there's a lot of refugees inside of Parnast, and these refugees are from the outlying area from all of the farmsteads. And the reason for that, there's been a lot of orc attacks, quite a few of them. And these orc attacks, they have been led by this new female orc chieftain that's in the area. And there's been a couple of banners and whatnot left up on the farmsteads. And it is the Bone Tusk tribe. And this tribe is led by a Kagrata Three-Teeth. And the rumor has it with Kagrata is she got the leadership from her husband, which she killed in one-on-one combat. And then after she killed her husband, she killed her 2 sons in combat as well, because they challenged her for the throne. So she killed them all.
Weak die, boys. The weak die.
Yeah, exactly. So now, good old Kagrata, she's in charge of this Bone Tusk tribe. So that's why all these refugees are here. They were taking over your stables where you're sleeping.
A bunch of weak humans running for safety in town.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So the weather's been pretty decent, besides all of the extra refugees. It's starting to become, I'd say, early evening. Sun's just starting to go down. Dinner is being served at the Golden Tankard. And as you guys are all sitting around the table, guess who you see? That's right. The owner of the tavern, Ragnar Redtooth. But the village has definitely seen better days. And this encroaching tribe of orcs has kind of been putting everybody on edge. And Ragnar thinks that they're probably going to attack Parnast. So he's got his 12 militiamen that he's been training. And remember, these guys are normal villagers, so they're not even really real trained guardsmen or militiamen.
They're kobold fodder, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, at least you got Wallace. He's now proven himself to be a big game hunter with you guys, right? Remember the son of Gundolin?
The guy that keeps getting his ass beat, passing out.
Yeah. He got knocked unconscious, and when you guys healed him, he ran. You told him to run, Malachi. That was pretty funny. So it's pretty busy in here tonight. Food's being served. And Ragnar, he wants to do a little discussing with you as he sees all of you guys around the table. And he says, my friends, the heroes of Parnast. And he looks over towards his daughter. Remember, Elspeth, she's dating Wallace. So there's like a little lover's quarrel between a Romeo and Juliet story between Ragnar and Gundolin, because those two don't like each other at all. Because remember, Ragnar Redtooth was helping the Cult of the Dragon as they were here, as they took over Parnast within the last year prior to you guys coming to Parnast. And he was helping the Cult of the Dragon. Of course, he said that he was doing it for the betterment of the village, and if he had not, then all of the cultists probably would have killed everyone anyway, which could have been true, but Gundolin didn't like that. So that's why Gundolin Cartwright doesn't like old Ragnar Redtooth. This is, my friends, dinner's on me tonight. Dinner's on good old Ragnar. And he asks how everybody's been doing. Oh, I know. And the food tastes like absolute crap. It's like a squirrel stew. Because of course, there's plenty of squirrels around here in Parnast.
Not so many cows, and I'll take a look over at Sarpy as I'm slurping down some soup.
Well, pork is good too.
Yeah, we brought a couple of pigs. Forgot about that.
Yeah, my friends, but that meat's been long since served. It seems like just yesterday that I was sinking my choppers into that pork. Good times. Good times, lads. And he says that he thinks that as he kind of just helps himself to pulling up a seat to the table, he says, we've got some things to discuss, my friends. And he puts a sack of gold on the table as well. And he says I'm tired of being second-guessed with every move that I make by that damn Gundolin Cartwright. He just doesn't make my life easy around here. He says, he's blaming me for all of the carts that are being broken. I don't know why he's bitching. It's not like he doesn't get paid for it anyway. But he goes on to tell you that, Gundolin is the most skilled woodworker here in Parnast, and he does all of the woodsmanship and all of the crafting with wood and stuff. And they've been going over to Old Parnast, which is to the northwest, and this is where the old Parnast was, and it had basically a palisade wall, and it was actually a pretty good fortification. And then the Zentrum took it over and basically moved Parnast to where it is now. Well, the old Parnast fell into ruins, and there were still a lot of materials that were, able to be used in old Parnast. So with all of these carts and stuff that actually Ragnar commissioned Gundolin to fix, they started moving this stuff, all kinds of wood and planks, all kinds of other tools, all kinds of other, supplies that were in old Parnast, and they made a tower. And that's where they were getting the supplies to do this, because Ragnar thinks that, he tells you, I think this Bone Tusk tribe is going to be attacking us, and my militiamen and I were trying to prepare and get ready for them. But Gundolin thinks that we should just pick up everything in the damn town and move into the ruins. Which, honestly, you guys have been here in Parnast for a while. And the old Parnast ruins really wouldn't be a bad place from a defensive standpoint. Parts of the palisades still stand, and there's still quite a few stone buildings up there. Of course, they're not in the best of shape, but it's not the worst place. It's not wide open like it is down here in New Parnast. So he thinks that, Gundolin thinks that he's trying to sabotage all the carts and stuff, because there was an accident at the tower as well. There was definitely an accident. Actually, the tower kind of collapsed, and it killed one of the militiamen of Ragnar, and his name was Donnal, Donnal, and he died basically. So they pulled him out of all of the wreckage of the tower that collapsed, and really no investigation was done or anything like that because of all of the preparations, and there's really no jurisdiction here in Parnast. It's not, under jurisdiction of any other major city, because hell, you're in the Grey Peak Mountains. There's really nothing around here anyway. So, but that's what's been going on. And he just goes on to tell you that this damn Gundolin. And then another gentleman comes up to, as Ragnar says, excuse me for a moment or two. He steps up. You've seen this figure several times within the last couple of months of being in Parnast. And he looks like a woodsman. He definitely looks like it's your type of folk there, Sarpy. He's definitely of half-elven descent, and he just looks like a woodsman. He gives, but you've seen him kind of congregating with Ragnar several times. Rumors are it's a scout, but you don't know his name or anything like that. But then Ragnar comes back and eats dinner with you guys and stuff like that.
I give him a nod as I see him across the room.
Yeah, he's looking at all of you guys as you look at him, Sarpy. He just kind of nods back in your general direction. And it looks like he's kind of looking at everybody at the table as well.
I'm gonna look over at Ragnar and say, "What the fuck's up with this guy?"
Oh, that's one of my scouts. Actually, it's my only scout. His name is Tove Brandyman, and he's been a scout of mine for several years now. And he was just reporting back. He doesn't live here in Parnast, but he's here for the night, I guess. And I guess he's gonna be heading back out in the morning. And he's just giving me a little bit of information about Bad Fool's whereabouts and the whereabouts of this new Bone Tusk tribe that's encroached in our area and into our lands and farmsteads. And he says that there's really no activity. So it seems like we may be okay, but I really don't trust the orcs. They've attacked Parnast before with the goblins, and I just don't want to take that chance. And I think an attack is imminent, whether it be by this new Bone Tusk tribe led by the rakish orc leader Kagrota or Bad Fool. I don't know, but we need to prepare. We just can't be caught with our pants down. It just wouldn't be right to the rest of the villagers, so I hope that we could defend ourselves.
I'll look over to Sarpy and say if you want to go buy that guy a drink and get any info you can from him.
That's not a bad idea. And I'll get up and kind of saunter over to him and sit down and say, "Hello, friend. You mind if I buy you an ale or whatever you're having?"
Sure, I'll have a nice. I need to turn off my Ragnar voice, and I need to have a little bit more sophistication in this next voice. So it says, "Absolutely, friend. You can buy me a drink." He says, "My name is Tove Brandyman. Well met." And I'll take that glass of elvish wine now as he looks over towards Ragnar's daughter, Elspeth, and she goes off and gets a nice glass of wine and brings it back.
I'll pay her for it, and
oh, she says, "Oh, no, it's on the house. Father told me everything was on the house for all of you tonight."
Oh, well, in that case, I'll have the lobster. And Tove,
yes, my friend.
We were wondering if you had any intel on the orcish activity. There seems to be a little bit of concern going around. Can you tell me anything?
I can see that there is. Actually, Ragnar has shown quite a bit of concern, and I've been actually scouting out about the 15 to 20 mile range around Parnast. Usually I only scout about 10 miles maximum in the past. But with all of the farmsteads being, not even ransacked, it's just like all it is the farmers that, and with the farmers surviving, they say that either their family has taken, they're not being killed or anything, they're just being knocked out and drug away. Probably into slavery or something to that nature. So the orcs probably are up to something. That's for sure. Usually they're bloodthirsty and they want to kill everyone and rape and pillage and steal everything. But they're not doing that in this case. They're literally taking the farmers and probably using them for slave labor. But I've been scouting out about 20 miles. And I'll be going back out in the morning I'm just going to get a little bit of R&R here tonight, even though I see that the hot spot is the stables. So it looks like I'll be sleeping with a bunch of screaming brats tonight. Meaning all of the kids, not you and your adventuring friends, of course.
Well,
seems like farmers love to have a lot of
times.
babies. Ah, yes. It seems like there's at least a dozen babies and kids over there at the stable, so I'm sure trying to sleep tonight will be an adventure of its own. So how long have you and your friends been here in Parnast? I've seen you guys around here a couple of times. You've kind of gotten the reputation of being the heroes of Parnast. You know?
Well, we've been here a while. We've been kind of using Parnast as our base of operations, so to speak. And it seems like Parnast has had more than its fair share of troubles lately, so there's always been something for us to do. I get the feeling that may still be true now.
Ragnar's a good man. He cares about the people. He's had some issues in the past, but for the most part, he does have a genuine heart.
Yes, we've come to like old Ragnar pretty well, I think. But I'm afraid that we may be called into action once again sooner rather than later. So, once again, if there's any more you could possibly tell us, it would be very helpful. Maybe some direction we could go to find more information, or maybe someone we could go to. Anything like that would be very helpful.
Yeah, if I find anything out, I'm sure I probably won't even have to report it to you. I'm sure that Ragnar will do it himself. And then he kind of chugs down the rest of the wine and he says, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to take my chance over at the stables now. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so I think I'm going to try to fight those screaming kids over there and try to get some sleep for tonight.
Well, I clap him on the back and say, well, good luck with that, my friend. We'll see you around for sure.
Most definitely.
And I head back over and kind of just relay the contents of the conversation to the group.
Okay. And Ragnar says, yeah, he's been working for me, that Tove. He's been working for me for several years now, and he's a good lad. So we ask everybody what you guys have been up to, what you all have been up to lately since your last big venture.
I say, well, I've been away from Parnast for a while. I felt the need to kind of reconnect with nature, so I've been away. I haven't really been participating lately, but I'm back now and fully rested and recharged and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Why don't everybody give me a perception check really quick in the tower? It's actually a pretty busy night here in the old Golden Tankard. All right, so Sarpy, as you're kind of saying your goodbyes to your new buddy Tove, you actually see several of the other barmaids and several of Ragnar's militiamen kind of often, there's a couple of different entrances there at the Golden Tankard. Seems like they're pulling in a lot of supplies and kind of piling them up on the side of the tavern. The tavern's broken up in a couple different sections, so it seems like they're stocking supplies up. Kind of weird. Usually know that these supplies are usually stocked in several different locations.
I'll notice this, and I'll kind of elbow whoever's sitting next to me and point it out. Say, what's going on here?
Well, I've been kind of building all of the supplies, and I'm going to start keeping them here in a tavern. At least I'll be able to keep my eye on them in here. It just seems like some of the stuff has been turning up missing here as well within town. Seems like things have been disappearing.
What kind of things?
Just all kinds of your basic supplies and some foods and just all kinds of different things. Which it just seems like a bunch of miscellaneous items over there, being, you know, like crates of rations and ropes and boxes of nails and a lot of stuff from old Parnast as well.
Do you think villagers are just kind of helping themselves to it, or is there something more going on?
It's probably that damn Gundelin Cartwright. He's always up my ass. He's probably just stealing this stuff, hiding it in his home, and putting the blame on me. I just think he wants to run this place. I think he wants control of Parnast. He's just mad because of the decisions as I made last year with the cult. He still hasn't put that past him yet. Unfortunately, I did it for the betterment of all of the people here. He probably would have done the same thing if he was put into the position that I was put into. I wouldn't even be surprised if he sabotaged my best cart that I've been using to haul all of the good materials away from the old Parnast ruins. Just this morning, the cart's axle broke again. This is the second one in 10 days. I mean, he does, of course, get paid to do this, and I would hope that he wouldn't do anything like that, but usually axles don't break like that, especially 2 in 10 days. I mean, come on.
But did you inspect the axle? Was it
No, it was snapped. It didn't seem like it was cut. It was just snapped. But I'm sure there's probably ways. I mean, being the expert woodworker that he is, and his son and a couple of, well, not really his son. His son thinks he's a woodworker. He thinks he's a hunter now. He thinks he's a big fighter. I just wish he would leave my damn daughter, my poor Elspeth. I wish he would just walk away from that whole situation. I just shudder. I hope they don't have any offspring together. Because that would just make
left his ass out in the with the gnolls.
Probably, or maybe let that damn whatever that was that you brought back the Parnast, that Thornacious guy. What was he, like a satyr or a wood elf or something like that? Should have let him take him. He's a party animal, yeah. Well, he about drank all of the damn spirits here in Parnast. He wouldn't touch the damn rot gut. Of course, he goes right for the expensive stuff. Jesus. So you guys are going to be hanging around town for a little bit? We could probably use a couple of extra eyes here in town. I've got Tove. He's out scouting around the area of Parnast. He's going to let me know if he sees any action from that Bone Tusk tribe or from Bad Frul himself. Hell, I don't know. These two tribes could be working together. I have no clue. But we're preparing. Because I don't trust those filthy orcs. Have some more rot guts.
Well, we did get some orcs on our side, if I remember correctly, didn't we? The orcs that we talked to, that they're going to come help us when we need. Did they commit to that? I can't remember.
He committed to not helping Bad Frul. That's what he committed to.
Gotcha.
Remember how you had him sign the
not going against us.
Exactly. Yep. You handed him 2 contracts. And then he wanted you to prove your worth to him with all of the different competitions against his ogre, I guess you could say his right-hand man that passed out. Actually, with a bunch of clutch rolls from you, if I'm not mistaken. A bunch of clutch Constitution rolls. You drank him under the table. All those weird Sprite drinks and stuff like that. The Zima with a Jolly Rancher in it and shit.
Right?
Yeah, Arlo, you and Sarpy missed a couple really, really cool games.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. So he tells you that he doesn't have anything really for you to go out. But he does say this. I will tell you this. I will pay you to hang around town for a couple of days in case anybody else tries to hire you. I'll give you 100 gold apiece to hang around
Just
for a
to
couple
sit
of
and
days.
Just to sit and drink around town?
Yeah, just don't get too drunk. In case those orcs show up, I want you to be able to help at least defend Parnast.
Have any strangers moved into town lately?
Just the, I guess you could say the refugee farmers from the outlying areas of Parnast. Just them. But I'll pay you 100 gold apiece for the extra defense and the training of my stout and fearless, as he kind of chuckles, militiamen of Parnast.
Well, let's hope you trained him a little bit better than the last group.
I just lost one
certainly
the other
don't
day.
Mind, sitting around getting paid to drink, guys. This seems like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah, it sounds like a offer you can't refuse almost.
Yeah, count me in.
Getting. It sounds like downtime days, but we're getting paid for it, so I'm all for that.
This is
Think how
Dave's
many
ale.
Think
Go
how
ahead.
many sausages you could buy with that money, Shamgra.
Oh God, it'd be so delicious.
How many sausages, God? Around the sausages, Elspeth. Get back there and tell Cookie to get some sausages out here. He's got to hydrate them, though. They're hanging up back in the storeroom.
I think I've had enough sausage for the next year.
He holds
Yeah,
up
but count us
his
in.
mug. Oh, good. I'm glad I will count you in there, Malachi. He holds up his mug and he says, this one's for Donald. Poor Donald. Poor bastard probably didn't even know what hit him. I think he was off sleeping up in the guard tower when it collapsed on him.
So are you guys going to start moving into that, sounds like these farmers wouldn't come to town if there was no problems out there. Bad Cruel's kind of he's not a good dude. So are you guys going to move to a more defensible location eventually, or what?
Parnast is our only line of defense. That's why we tried to put up a watchtower, and that's why we've been. And you can also see that there's a bunch of like little small palisades that are kind of erected around town. There's probably about a dozen or so. They're probably about 6 to 8 to 10 foot long walls, about 6 or 7 feet high, with like makeshift ladders behind them and stuff.
Decent. I mean, as a fighter, I'm assuming that I kind of have some sort of inkling on kind of the weaknesses or entrances towards this town.
It would
I'd
help
like
a
to
little
spend
bit
the next time to help prepare or defend it. Actually, getting these things in a state where it would be useful, that someone just couldn't come run and knock them all down, that sort of thing.
Hopefully, if they attack from those directions, it's sort of like the French in the Maginot Line in World War II. The Germans just went right around it and said, okay, good, you got this wall, but we're just going to go ahead and go around it. It would be sort of like that. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I want to make sure that we're lining up defenses between buildings, and we're blocking entrances and exits, and it's shit like that. Just try and make it more defensible if these people are going to stay here.
Yeah,
if that's what we're going to be hired to do, I'll walk around and boss people around to put shit where I tell them.
That's fine with me, Shamgra. Just make sure that you get some training in on the militiamen too. But I appreciate you guys, and he takes the bag and kind of pushes it everyone's way, and he says, "Here's 500, all paid in full up front for everyone."
So Ragnar, what's with this Donald that you said died earlier?
Whoops. Oh, it looks like every Malachi, Shem, and Barian. Can you guys take 66 gold off of your sheet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got I gotta add a couple more people into this. I gotta add Arlo and Sarpy. In fact, could you take all of the 166 off? And then I'll just kind of redo it. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Done.
There we go. There's everybody's 100 apiece. That's right.
you
It's a great feature from Fantasy Grounds, the best virtual tabletop on the internet.
Well done. Well done. In the meantime, since our last, I did pick up a riding horse to be able to stow some of my equipment on it. I was getting a little bit waylaid with all these damn weapons sticking out everywhere. So I deducted gold and did all that sort of thing. But.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, if you need to
And I've
clean
got
up your inventory, yeah, you can sell all that
got him
normal
stabled
equipment.
and all that shit.
Yeah. There you
No,
go.
it's stuff that I keep, but just some of the other things, put the minor things on the horse instead of myself.
So after dinner, a couple drinks, Ragnar goes ahead and excuses himself and says that he's got lots of book work to do for the supplies that he's pulling over here into the tavern, and a lot of book work for the Golden Tankard. And he says that he'll see you around tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, we'll take a look through town, just make sure things are defensible and do what we can. I can take turns doing night watch. I've got night vision, so.
Yeah, very good. So what say you, adventurers? What are you doing for the rest of your night here in Parnast?
Well, I can walk around town and kind of inspect the palisades or the towers they had built and kind of check them out, climb up and see the sight lines and everything like that, and just kind of keep an eye on the perimeter of the town.
Yeah, they're makeshift. It's not like it's not gonna hold an army back or anything like that, but it'll slow a couple of them down at least.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, so all of the storefronts around here are closed. Remember, you've got old Sila. His wife was the one that died at the herbalist, well, the alchemist store.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the smithy. Roderick, he owns the smithy. You have, remember good old Chandra Stoll? She's the priestess of Maliki at the Shrine of Axes. Then you have the Trader's Post, which is like the Lion Shield Calder, the Halfling. He runs that. And then you have the Gundolins. They run the stables. But all the other, pretty much everything is pretty much closed up for the night now that the sun has actually set for the night. Ooh, look at that nice ambient lighting.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you get everything checked out. I mean, there's no need for you guys to actually per se stand watch for tonight, because the militiamen of Parnast, they're the ones that are kind of setting up a 12-man perimeter around Parnast, and they all have whistles and stuff. So they have like a code. If they see anything, they'll do a couple of screeches with their whistle, a couple of blows with their whistle.
The rape whistles.
Oh God! I can't believe that he just said rape. I can't believe it. How dare you, Dave, for allowing your players to say that?
Well, it is the prevention of, so.
So is anybody going anywhere in particular? Because you guys are staying at the good old stables. And remember, this is where the Cult of the Dragon used to stable their wyverns, and that place has an insanely horrible smell, and the Cartwrights have not been able to get rid of that smell. So
well, I'll stable
like
my
the worst
horse
thing.
in the stables themselves. That'll cost me a little bit while we're here, but I plan to I can fall asleep at a table at the bar.
Sure. Yeah, Gundolin, he doesn't. I mean, he especially his son says, "Oh, you've done so much for Parnast. There's no need to charge a Shemgra or any of your other adventuring partners to stow your horses here." This is we're a little full tonight, though, as you can see, and you can hear a bunch of crying infants inside, and a couple of kids run out, and they're pushing circles with sticks and shit, playing fake sword fighting, screaming, just kids all over the place. But that damn stable still smells because of those wyverns. Your favorite place, Shemgra. You kind of feel like home, actually.
It's not too bad.
That doesn't faze you. So what about everybody else? Arlo? Sarpy? Barian?
Well, with the stables smelling so strongly and full of kids and everything else, I'd probably might as well just sleep out under the stars tonight. It seems a little more restful. So I might set up with myself a little pallet and lay down kind of near the golden tankard itself, just so I'm close to the door and see if anybody comes and goes that looks suspicious.
All right. Barian?
I think he's AFK.
Arlo?
Well, Arlo, he'll tuck in around the supplies that have been going missing and that, and sort of hide away in there and half sleep through the night, see if he notices anybody coming or poking around.
Thanks, Fatrol. Yeah, there's really nothing really out of the ordinary at the Golden Tankard. Of course, Elspeth and a couple of the other employees of the tankard are still pulling these supplies in. But across the town circle, you can see this red cherry kind of like glowing every once in a while, and you can see smoke coming out. And you guys can see that there's someone standing on the side of the stables over there. But then, of course, it's within the range of your dark vision and whatnot. You can see that it's that scout for Ragnar, Tove Brandyman. He's over there smoking a pipe, kind of sitting down, and then he gets up, stands up, takes a piss in the water trough right on the side of the stable and whatnot. Then he goes and kind of puts his foot up on the other one as he's leaning against the wall. So I guess it would be about right here. So, whoops, my bad.
Dave, can you reshare the map with me?
Oh yeah. Here's the map of Parnast. And where the green arrow is, that's the stables. Home sweet home for all of you. And you can still hear those damn kids screaming from all the way across the town circle. Oh God. I used to get on the mic at Walmart, even the store manager. As I was store manager, I would get on the microphone and I would make baby noises and shit, and everybody was like, "Did you hear that? One of the employees is doing that." And I'd be locked in my office, and they never knew that it was me doing it. my assistant one time, even at the morning meeting, he was even like, "If I catch anybody making noises on and I wanted to laugh so bad, but I couldn't." One of my assistants, Chris, old Sergeant Rock, I used to call him. "If I catch any of you guys making noises on that microphone system, you're gonna get wrote up for that." I'm thinking, are you going to write me up? It was funny though. I guess you just had to.
Well,
been
it's good
there.
to see that these people are stopped leaving their babies out in the middle of the roads, and they're actually taking care of them at least. But
Yeah, they're taking care of the babies, but of course, you know.
last time we
there's
were here, they just
bunch
left
of
their
kids.
children as the town was attacked.
Yeah. Zovia, she actually saved a couple of them.
Yeah, she
Man. Yeah, she did. So, it seems like this Tove is coming over to your guys' makeshift encampment in the front of the Golden Tavern. I guess you guys probably have a shop set up probably about right here, so. So yeah, Tove comes over. And this is it's a beautiful night out, isn't it? Says I had to get away from that damn stable. He says, "Oh, because it smells like ever-loving shit over there. Jesus."
And it's loud.
Oh, he says, "That's why I'm probably gonna sleep under the stars tonight, my friend. I tried to go in there earlier, and it was just a no-go. Somebody doesn't know how to clean a baby's diaper very well, or something smells bad in there." He says, I don't think I've met the rest of you guys. I met Sarpy earlier inside of the tankard, but he introduces himself as Tove, and that he's been scouting for Ragnar for a couple of years, and he's smoking his pipe.
I'll extend an arm and introduce myself. I'm Shem, warrior extraordinaire.
Oh, warrior extraordinaire. I think I've heard of all of you. You guys are the heroes. I kind of figured you were, as I saw you inside. He says, I was eyeing you guys up and down. You guys look to be impressive, battle-hardened adventurers, so I was checking you guys out. Man,
We've been in a
sleep in
tussle
that
or two.
stable.
We've been known to get in and cause a little trouble.
Oh, and he asked for everybody's names and whatnot. And he says, so really, I mean, Sarpy elaborated a little bit on this earlier, but I mean, what in the hell are you guys doing here in Parnast? I mean, there's nothing here in Parnast.
Tell me about it. We've become a bit of attached. Helped bring a little caravan of stuff here and found a town in need. Thankfully, they pay. That's what's kept me around.
Yeah, seems like Ragnar's got pretty deep pockets. He's probably got some hidden trove of cash somewhere under the Golden Tankard. I'm sure as the cult of the dragon was forced out of here by some other adventuring party that actually stole Skyreach Castle, some guy named Wormfood or something like that, and Kadojo and Psywolf. Those guys stole the castle and crashed it into the mountains and the spine of the world way to the north. And I actually think that the Cult of the Dragon probably had some cash here, and Ragnar knew about it or found out about it and probably didn't say anything about it and kept it for himself. But I mean, he usually pays really good,
keeping us around.
Yeah, I mean, he should actually build a keep. I told him I said, if you got the money, you should probably build a keep here. But he says, oh, I don't have he's trying to imitate Ragnar. I don't have the money for that. But he says, but then he pays me 100 to 200 gold to scout for a week. That's more than I could make in 2 months in Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter or Waterdeep. So I don't know how in the hell he's able to have such deep pockets. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'll take it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Bad fools being a pain in the ass around here, or what?
I honestly think that Bad Fools doing most of the damage to all of the caravans that's coming in from the desert. I'm actually skeptical that anything is even going to happen here in Parnast. I know that some of the farmsteads and a couple of the families had told me that they had distant relatives that were on farmsteads further out, and they weren't killed. They were just taken. It was like they just disappeared off of their farmstead. But I don't know. I don't think they'll come. I don't know. But then again, I haven't really seen anything as I'm scouting. Usually I am able to see at least encampments, or I can run into encampments that were used in the past and where they've moved on. But I don't see any of that. It seems like they travel and they don't stop. So
could they be flying?
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't see any evidence
tracks?
of it. No,
Nothing
I don't
at
see
all.
any kind of. No, I don't see any kind of crap or tracks or anything. And I am pretty versed with my skills in nature, and I mean, I do see tracks from time to time, but it's usually to farmsteads, and they usually leave the same way they come in. So it's not like they're going from farmstead. I think they're just kind of adventuring or just kind of roaming around until they actually find something. That's what I'm.
But what
putting
of
together out of
the
this.
what of these refugee farmers stated? Why are they coming to town? Have they seen
Because
anything?
they don't want it to happen to them. That's why they're coming here.
Okay.
There's been several hiding in cellars and whatnot that actually avoid being taken. So we have the information that the other
And
farmers are not being
It's the
killed.
orcs, right?
Exactly. It's the orcs they're basically taking the family members away, just dragging them away, tying them up and dragging them away. They're not killing them or anything, and that's quite unusual. And no offense, but it's that's usually not the case when it comes to orc or even half orc.
Well, I mean, orcs might have their reasons, but Lord knows. They follow strength, typically.
And that they
Bad
do.
Cruel seems to be fairly strong.
I have been able to ascertain they probably travel in the numbers of about a dozen or so. The few farmsteads that I have checked out. Yeah, it seems like they travel in packs of 12. And I think there's been several. I've been able to tell that there's been several different scouting parties. Two. I think there's two. Because it seems like at different farmsteads it's the same clues keep turning up. And there's a couple of different sets of clues that keep happening. So
More refugees coming from the east or west?
it seems like all around. I think the word of mouth. Actually, everything's been happening to the north and to the east, closer towards the mountains.
Sure.
But I think it's just word of mouth, and you know how the farmers are. They know everything about what's going on in everyone's farm anyway. So they just word of mouth goes around, and that's why most of them have basically boarded up their places and jumped shit and
Come and kick me out of my bed.
came here.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you're not missing a whole lot. That place smells like ever living shit in there. I think somebody's sticking a big
not
deuce under
too
the hay
bad.
or something. Not for this half elf, as he kind of chuckles. I like to have a nice clean bed to sleep in at night if I'm not sleeping under the stars in my bedroll.
Well, Barry and Erlo, Malachi, what do you guys think? I don't mind sitting around town getting paid for it, but it seems as though there's trouble brewing out there somewhere.
Yeah, something's
If
going on here.
people
for
are
sure.
disappearing.
Yeah, I usually work alone, so if I see anything out there, I'll come back and get you, and maybe we'll go on an excursion later on or something. If I think that I'll need some help, I'll come and get you. I'll come and get you before I get old Ragnar's militiamen. I'd rather have you at my side than them. And that's a fact.
Well, why don't we take tomorrow to get the militiamen and some of the farmers to work on stuff, and maybe Tove can take us out to a site of a recent disappearance, and perhaps one of us can track from there.
Oh, that might be a pretty good idea.
Sounds like a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, I should be back in about 3 or 4 days. So I'm going out about 20 miles, and I'll
Which
be
way
back
you
in
going?
about. I'm gonna start north and just kind of work my way around. I'll probably go east and probably come back from the south, and then next time I go out, I'll start from the south and go around to the west, and then come back in from the north. But when I come back in about 4 days, I'll see if Ragnar can let you loose for a couple of days, and we'll go out and see if we can find one of these orc parties and say hello to him, if you know what I mean, as he kind of gives you guys a wink.
I do.
Speaking about bedrolls, I think I'm gonna turn in for the night. I'm gonna be sleeping under one of those trees over by the stable. So, and Tov is he's a short half elf. He's probably about 5'6", 5'7" or so. He's got sandy blonde hair, green eyes. He's looks like he's a ladies' man. Good looking half elf. And
Too bad he likes to hug trees. Huh? Spends his time out in nature. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. He kind of gives you guys a little bow, and he says, well, good luck, guys, and I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again, and maybe we'll go out and hunt us some orcs here in the next week or so. He says, have a good night, fellas. We'll see you later. And
as he leaves, can I estimate, did it seem like he was hiding or anything or holding anything back from me?
Yeah,
talking about this.
Give me an insight check in the tower.